But today, from out of the jungle, comes Boomer Esiason, captain of his own starship, the classic confrontation. Will it be Boomer or Bo?
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Raiders.
Second half of the season is when titles are won or lost in those divisions.
And right now, Cleveland is winning their game, so Cincinnati has to win to stay even in the Central Division.
I certainly do. I sat in on the pregame meal for Cincinnati this morning, and Sam White very simply said to his troops, we need 4 quarters of the same kind of football we played last week against Tampa Bay.
But the Raiders, they're shuffling the deck today.
They certainly are, coming off what might have been, in fact, what was their best performance of the season. But Steve Berline lit the fire under the offense. He hurt his knee. He's down. And Jay Schrader takes over at quarterback. Schrader has thrown only 28% completion the last 3 ball games. He's going to be a doubtful today. And right now the pressure is on one man, Bo Jackson.
So the Raiders will receive, and that means that Jay Schrader will receive his ovation or standing boos when he comes onto the field. So Jim Breach is kicking off. Or is that Lee Johnson? And boy, does he sail it. And here is Jay Schrader.
Touchback. Raiders ball, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
A quiet reception.
Yes.
A very quiet Schrader has been booed heavily. In fact, when he entered the ball game last week after the injury to Berline, took 3 steps onto the field, and this crowd booed him the rest of the way to the huddle.
Maybe they haven't realized that he started.
Well, he said it in practice when we talked to him yesterday. He said, all I want is a chance to play. If I don't play well, then they can boo me.
Fake of a pitch out to Bo Jackson. Has plenty of time. Goes deep. Has his man. It is complete at the 18-yard line.
Charlie, I don't think he caught that pass. That's Willie Gault, but I think Gault came down on the football. If we can see the end of the play, Schrader showing you the strength of that arm. That's one of the reasons they're excited to get him. And Phillips, no match for the speed of Willie Gault. But watch the end of the play. It looked to me like the ball came loose as Gault falls on it on the ground. He's got it.
He has it underneath him, but he has it.
He has control of the football. What a way to start a ball game. That is vertical passing game, 63 yards. Schrader comes out with a bang.
Quiets the critics immediately. And of course the play is reviewed. The ball just outside the 17-yard line. It stands. It is 1st down for the Raiders. And the fullback carries Steve Smith. Raiders offense. The Raiders have an offensive line that is beginning to operate on all cylinders. Backs and receivers, the change that we've seen is number 13, Jay Schrader, starting at quarterback. On 3rd and long, Bo Jackson comes out because he probably carried on the first 2 downs. Vance Mueller replaces him. The fullback and tight end, they also come out. Mike Alexander and Tim Ware come in as additional wide receivers. Second and 6. Here's Bo. 11-yard line. Flag is down, and while we sort that out, let's check the defense. Cincinnati has an undersized but very quick defensive front. They'll have their hands full with Bo Jackson today and also with Schrader. In some passing situations, 3 of the 4 linebackers will come out. Skip McClendon. The penalty against the Raiders takes the ball back outside to the 23-yard line.
68, Wilkerson draws the holding call, and that moves the ball back Wilkerson. Ball back with second and about 16, Charlie?
Second and 16, yes. Schrader with great protection, drills the 7-yard line. A gain of 16. It's right at the marker. They'll have to measure. We'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Indianapolis-Miami game. Miami winning that one 19-13. Here, no score, opening drive. Raiders threatening its first down and goal to go with Jay Schrader at quarterback.
He is hot. He's hit his first 2 passes, and he has rifled them.
And his first one for 63 yards to Willie Gault. Flag is down. Jackson cuts inside to the 4 if it stands. And it'll be a motion call.
Able to overcome that holding penalty, come back for the first down, but they're making it tough on themselves here.
Illegal motion, offense.
Pat Haggerty, the referee. So after the opening bomb to Willie Gault, the Raiders now threaten to self-destruct.
2 big passes from Schrader. We talked about his inaccuracy in the last 3 times he's appeared, throwing only 20% completions. But Schrader determined and confident in himself. Art Shell talked to him. He said, "You're my leader. Go out there and take charge." Schrader had us in this first quarter.
It's first and goal at the 12. Schrader to throw, and it is dropped at the 5-yard line. Mike Dial, the tight end, the intended receiver. Leon White had the coverage. We'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching Kansas City defeat Seattle by a score of 20-10 here in the Coliseum in Los Angeles. We have no score between the Raiders and the Bengals.
Just ran Mike Dial moments ago from right to left, or left to right. Now he runs the same pattern coming the other direction. Fakes outside. Watch him roll back inside. Gets away from Leon White, number 51, and he's all alone. You can't drop that kind of pass.
Second and goal. Timing pattern. And Fernandez was all alone. Another flag is down, and he had slipped away from the coverage.
Flag thrown at the line immediately as they left the line.
Bengals offsides.
A little breathing room. Let's see what happens to Fernandez on this play. Obviously, Billups, assuming there's going to be a pickup man deep. We didn't see one in the picture. That could easily have been a touchdown. Not a well-thrown pass from Jay Schrader.
But with the penalty, the ball goes to the 7-yard line, where it is second down and goal to go.
Well, they lost 5 on an illegal motion. They pick up 5 on an offsides. Now they're right back where they started from. But they don't have the first down. It's second and goal.
Jackson.
Second surge, touchdown.
He got it.
There's not another back in the NFL, Charlie, that can use the kind of power, the kind of second surge that you just saw from Bo Jackson. A lot of guys that can come close, but no one that has that extra gear to drop into. Jackson just drug a couple of tacklers into the end zone with it.
And the extra point by Jager is good. And the Raiders go up 7-0 on their opening drive.
Bo Jackson coming straight away from you. Watch the power here. Hit by 2 Bengals. Stood up. Dixon, who is a strong defensive back in that position at free safety, simply could not control the power of Bo Jackson. Watch here. Bang. He is stopped momentarily. Look at the leg drive. He is not going to be denied. He could have gotten another 3 or 4 yards and still scored.
The Raiders moving 80 yards in the opening drive, capped by Bo Jackson's touchdown from 7 yards out. And that is his 3rd touchdown of the year, and this is the 4th game in which he has played.
Talking to Sam White yesterday, he said, I'm afraid we're catching Bo Jackson at his peak. Well, he's catching a very happy team. They're winning. This man is an integral part of that. Art Shell. Charlie, it's an interesting point to make. I don't think the difference is so much that Shell is doing a brilliant job of coaching the X's and O's in the game. The difference in this team primarily is a difference in attitude. And you sense it when you go to a Raider practice.
Jager kicking on. Jennings and Smith are deep. And the return to the 30-yard line by Stanford Jennings. Now let's check the 10-minute ticker. We'll update you. 4th quarter, Cleveland still leading in their ball game. 4th quarter, Houston coming from behind now, leading Detroit. It's close. Buffalo by 1 over Atlanta. They're in the 4th. That's a final. Miami, Indianapolis. 4th quarter, New England leading the Jets. 4th quarter, Green Bay by 1 over Chicago. Bears really having their problems, continue to have them. Rams and Minnesota tied in the 4th. The final, Kansas City defeating Seattle. The game starting with ours. Denver a quick lead over Pittsburgh. No score at San Diego. And Cincinnati from the 30-yard line. Esiason, a great play fake. He is known for that, and he goes to Eric Cantus. Cincinnati's offense. Well, this is truly, it's a great offensive line, but it has been limited by injuries. Backs and receivers, they have no standard set. You just saw 3 tight ends. What you're looking at here on the screen, just one of a multiplicity of formations that we will see. In fact, they will show a shotgun that is truly unique. Both running backs will come out, and 2 tight ends replace him as bodyguards for Boomer. Holman comes out, and Mike Martin becomes the extra wide receiver. We'll see a bit of everything today from the Bengals. So it makes him so much fun. Here's Brooks to the right side. Turns the corner, and they'll mark him out at the 39-yard line. The Raiders defense. Well, the defensive front, they're coming off an impressive 7-sack performance against the Redskins. On passing situations, the nose tackle and 2 left side linebackers will come out. Mike Mraz comes in as a pass rusher. Mike Haynes and Russell Carter join a secondary that is shuffling players due to the injury to the strong safety, Eddie Anderson. Third down and 1. Eric Ball has the first down. And Tom Benson makes the tackle. We also should mention that Craig Taylor, the backup fullback to Eric Ball for Cincinnati, is inactive for today's game. So the Bengals going with only 3 running backs. And the reason?
While I was down in the locker room, Taylor came out of the restroom holding his stomach. The 2 doctors with him. Apparently food poisoning or a flu that just hit him just before the game. Was sick to his stomach, was dizzy, nauseated. They knew that he would not be able to play today, so they put him on the inactive list. That leaves them short. Only 3 running backs active for this ball game.
McGee in motion. Stanford Jennings is running back. Pressure from the backside.
Greg Townsend, number 93. From Boomer's blind side. He's coming in quickly. Cincinnati has had trouble on the right side of that line. Trouble with injuries. Oh, that's Joe Walder over there trying to lock up. Actually, Walder pushing from the outside, and Townsend coming from even further outside. Walder not able to get out quickly enough. Coming back on a reconstructed knee. And Townsend, a defensive lineman that can fly.
And Walter starting for Platos, of course, who is out with that bad ankle. 7 sacks last week, 20 on the season. And the first one of this ball game. And And Brooks battles his way inside out to the 40-yard line. Excuse me, out to the 45-yard line.
Charlie, one of the reasons that this defense is playing better for the Los Angeles Raiders, the return to the lineup of Howie Long and Scott Davis. There's Howie Long. Talk to these Cincinnati linemen, they tell you one thing. Howie Long flies off of that ball. You'll see him in a lot of positions. He'll move around today. Right now he's over on the left side at that defensive end spot.
3rd and 10.
Almost too quick there. That was Howie that jumped off and got back.
But he got back.
Look
Incomplete. Rodney Holman, the intended receiver. And it will be 4th down and 10. Lyndon King, the linebacker, had the coverage.
We've not seen Eddie Anderson in that secondary for the Raiders. And with Van McElroy out, the Raider secondary continues to have problems with injury.
Lee Johnson will be kicking. Stephon Adams is the return man.
Good choice by Stephon Adams, who's a great special teamer. Knew where he was and let that ball bounce into the end zone.
And so the Raiders with their 2nd possession, and they open up with the bomb. Very much, Merlin, like the Raiders of old. But speaking of Cincinnati, as you were just a moment ago, and you mentioned the fact you were in on the pregame meal this morning, and the pregame meals are different than they used to be.
Charlie, I'm kind of jealous of these players today. I got in there and I checked it out. I walked down there. They have a big buffet table. They have swordfish on there. They've nice fillets. They're New York fillets. They got eggs. They got French toast on there, and all kinds of good stuff. Vegetables. I mean, I said they're pampering these guys out there. We never got this when I got a chance to get a pregame meal.
Didn't they have just an ordinary breakfast too?
No bacon or eggs, or no bacon and no sausage. The greasy things are out.
Checking back through his ball. 1st down. Carl Zander made the tackle.
Talking about Bo Jackson's leg strength, you saw that illustrated moments ago as he exploded into the end zone. The thing that frightens you defensively about Bo Jackson, he'll start in on a play like this, and if the hole is not there, he'll go outside. Obviously, in that situation with a hole up front, he exploded through that hole. Tremendous power and great speed. That's an ugly combination if you're playing on defense.
Schrader gives to the fullback, Steve Smith. 38-yard line, gain of 8. Is going to be 2nd down and a couple. Ricky Dixon with the tackle. The numbers on Steve Smith, averaging 4.2. That's an excellent average, except when you look to his running mate, Jackson, Bo, averaging 6.2.
Well, that average probably will drop a little as the season goes on, but his average will be healthy.
That, of course, the average of Bo Jackson through the first 3 games. Joining the season, joining the Raiders after the baseball season completed.
Fresh legs, Charlie. Fresh legs.
Smith carries for the 1st down to the 42-yard line. I want to take a look at something. Schrader is doing something when he's under center that you pointed out that Dan Marino does, and that is he sets up a motion of shifting of the weight from the right side to the left side, almost like he's setting up a rhythm.
Charlie, I think quarterbacks want to get comfortable under that quarterback, and they very often they don't want to lock up. They don't want to lock their muscles up. They're kind of like tennis players waiting for a serve. They get those feet moving a little bit, get that body swaying a little bit, and it makes it easier for them to get into the motion of getting out of there to hand off or throw the ball, whatever they want to do. You see him flexing his legs. Well, that's to get a man in motion. Smith going out of there. There's Bo to the outside.
Turns the corner. A flag is down. The play goes just past the 50-yard line, but there's a marker.
I would guess a holding call.
It will go against the Raiders. Right now, let's go to New York and Bob Costas. Thank you, Bob. And I know that for Jet fans, that's got to be a sigh of relief. It's really been a struggle this year.
Frustration. might be the word, and they're letting a little bit of it out at this point. A call against the Raiders. John Giesick called for holding. The Raiders have been really self-destructive, able to overcome it on that first drive. Let's see if they can do it again here.
First down and 20. Schrader now moving. Mueller back to a different set.
Too much time.
And the Raiders take too much time, but gives us time to welcome those of you who have just seen Leahy's 22-yard field goal. The New York Jets by 1 over New England, 27-26. And here in the Coliseum, the Raiders lead the Bengals by a score of 7-0. Bo Jackson scoring from 7 yards out. An 80-yard opening drive, and it was the opening pass from Jay Schrader to Willie Gall of 63 yards that set it all up. And this one is incomplete. And Gall down the far sideline, drawing very tight coverage from Eric Thomas.
Charlie, the secret to those first few completions by Schrader in that first drive, good protection. On this play, he gets pressure, and he hates that pressure up the gut. It really makes him nervous. He's had trouble staying in the pocket. Tim Crumry looping around on that last play. They got a blitz inside, got pressure on Schrader, and he had difficulty.
In fact, at the end of the opening drive, when they were inside the 20-yard line, and because of the flags, they threw several passes, he had excellent time to throw there. Heads for the sideline and goes out at the 32-yard line. It'll be third down and about 21. Joe Kelly was chasing him.
It's easy to second guess a quarterback who stands back in the pocket and has to read the pressure. But Schrader, as I mentioned, has had real difficulty staying in that pocket and waiting it out. The great quarterbacks are able to wait until the last possible second and unload that football. Schrader has got to reestablish that for himself. And that means that even when you got somebody bearing down on you, you just got to stand in there, Charlie. That's easier to tell somebody to do than to actually do it.
Third and 22. Schrader from the shotgun. 4 wide receivers.
No.
And on the short hop to Fernandez, it is incomplete. And Schrader is starting to get the first booze. But in reality, that was not all his fault, as the penalties really hurt them. And now Jeff Gossett will be kicking to Mike Martin.
Well, I would think that Schrader must take the responsibility for that delay of game penalty, though, Charlie. That one, he didn't do the holding. John Giesick did that.
Good kick. Martin, fair catch. And he'll take it at the 19-yard line. And now for another update, let's go to New York and Bob Costas. The score here, Raiders 7 and Cincinnati nothing, and Cincinnati has the ball at their own 19-yard line. This is their second offensive possession.
The Bengals will be operating out of the attack offense throughout most of this game. We won't see them going back to the huddle.
McGee in motion. They now show 3 wide receivers. And Boomer's pass is complete. He goes to Eddie Brown, and Terry McDaniel had the coverage. Let's check the 10-minute ticker. In the fourth quarter, Cleveland continues to lead in theirs. Houston in front of Detroit, and Buffalo by 1 over Atlanta. Those games still going on. Now 3 finals. Miami wins, Jets in that close one, and Green Bay by 1 over the Bears. The Bears falling on hard times. Overtime final, Minnesota 23-21. That's a safety, a block punt. The final, Kansas City over Seattle. Denver with an early lead. San Diego with the early lead over Philadelphia, and the Giants with the early lead over Phoenix. Stanford Jennings. And Jennings is stopped by Scott Davis. And we have a report that Eric Ball of the Cincinnati Bengals has a bruise and will be out for a couple of plays. So Cincinnati is now down to 2 running backs.
Well, fortunately, one of those running backs is number 21, James Brooks, right there. They can play with one running back if they have to. But Eric Ball has been a critical member of this offense. They don't want to lose him. Looks like that 195 pounds, able to do what he does. But you know why he does it? Or why he's able to do it? He is a fantastic physical specimen. We'll talk about his workouts, what he does in the offseason to stay in shape in just a moment.
And the only man on the team that Cincinnati has ever traded for. All the rest were draft choices and 4 free agents. Boomer under pressure, throws, and it is incomplete. McGee, the intended receiver. And Howie Long was in hot pursuit of Boomer.
Let's finish that thought about James Brooks. You watch him blocking there. He does it all. Boomer under pressure here. Gets around Wise. Mike Wise, number 90. He's actually throwing that ball at a receiver, but the ball was thrown close enough to the sideline that the receiver couldn't get it. No one was going to get it.
The kick by Lee Johnson.
You got time. You got time.
Stephon Adams. He's touched it. It's a live ball. He has it at the 3 and back to about the 8-yard line, where Stanford Jennings was down very quickly on the coverage. We have been looking, of course, recently at the Raiders defense, and that nose tackle is Bob Golick, and therein lies the story.
Well, folks back in Cincinnati know him. 7 years. He played for Cleveland, played twice a year against Cincinnati. Coming out here, he's a very gregarious player, wanted to fit in, Charlie. Kept telling the guys, hey, I want to go out with you when you go out. So they called him early in the season. I happened to be in the locker room the next day, and they were really upset with him. They said, oh, yeah, Bob, you want to go out, but you never go. And he said, well, you don't have things to do. They said, yeah, we call, and you say you got to go to the airport and pick up food for your dog? Come on, you got to be kidding us. They wouldn't let him rest. They have been on his case.
And here's Bo Jackson around the corner and down the sideline, and there he goes.
Well, that man has hit some long home runs in baseball. He's just hit the longest run in Raider history.
92 yards. We had a clock on him, and it took him 15 seconds. Football, pads, helmet, and all, with the Bengals chasing him to go 92 yards.
Tremendous move by Bo Jackson as he just explodes down the sideline. A chance to watch it. Watch Steve Smith. Smith in motion right here is going to get a bump out on the defensive man coming over to try and contain, and Jackson just dives inside of that block. And watch him now as he outruns everyone. Reggie Smith, 57, couldn't get over there. I think that's Fulcher, 33. He's not going to catch Bo. Billups coming from the other side. Bo is a sprinter. He's away. He's gone.
And more bad news for Cincinnati. Boomer Esiason has a bruised shoulder. He may be replaced by Eric Wilhelm. We'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Atlanta-Buffalo game. Atlanta upsetting Buffalo 30-28. And here the Raiders 14-0 as Bo Jackson just went 92 yards. And Boomer Esiason has a bruised shoulder. This is what happened just a moment ago. One more look for those who have just joined us. We'll finish it. He does. At the 20-yard line, Kendall Smith. Not much of a return. And here is Boomer Esiason. He is going to the locker room.
Charlie, I talked to him before the game this morning. He said last week was the first time this year that he's felt totally healthy. He's had ankle problems. He's had a shoulder problem that goes back to well into last season. And I hope that it's not another shoulder problem with that same throwing shoulder, his left shoulder, but he's going in to have an x-ray.
And another left-handed quarterback, Eric Wilhelm, rookie, taken in the 3rd round of the draft, Oregon State. That means he's played at the Coliseum before against USC. 5 of 6, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, his numbers. He opens with a play-action fake. And he completes a pass to Caddis, and it is close to the first down. For an update, let's go to New York City, and here's Bob Costas.
All right, Charlie, for those in your audience who didn't see it, here's Paul McFadden with 2 seconds to go. Earlier, he kicked a 54-yarder. This one's good from 50. 30-28 Atlanta. There were 29 seconds to go when Kinnebrew scored for Buffalo, but Miller quickly hit Stacey Bailey for 41 yards to get them close enough, and McFadden broke Mark Levy's heart.
This may be the Sunday of broken hearts around the National Football League. And here's James Brooks. It was 2nd down and about half a yard, and Brooks picks up the first down. Now, what happens, Merlin, with Wilhelm replacing Esiason as far as what Cincinnati can do offensively?
Well, I think they can go to almost their whole package. Turk Schoenert, their ordinary backup quarterback, the guy that they would count on in this situation. There's Wisniewski coming back. He was taken off for some x-rays, but Schoenert would ordinarily be in there. Wilhelm got his first NFL action last week and did beautifully. But he is not an experienced quarterback, not certainly in the same category as a Turk Schoenert, who must be saying, hey, why? When I'm hurt, does the opportunity pop up for a quarterback to get in there?
Play action fake. Long is chasing him, and is a slide. That's a veteran slide for the rookie, but one of the things that happens, it takes away a lot of the attack offense simply from an experience standpoint. So Wilhelm will spend more time in their huddle, or what they call the sugar huddle, which is a huddle that is closer to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they'll operate well because Wilhelm is a very bright young quarterback. He will not take them to the line, but he's very capable of doing that. I think last week they kept him in a huddle for 4 or 5 plays when he went into that ball game, and he ignited a long drive.
2nd down and 6. Brooks spinning out of the grasp of one tackler, and that was Townsend, who could not bring him down, and he moves close to the 40. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Charlie, I talked to Eric Wilhelm about his opportunity last week to get into that ball game, and his eyes lit up and he was all excited. He said when he first went out on the field last week that Ben Dreif was the referee there, and Dreif came over. He said, are you a right-handed quarterback? He said, no, I'm left-handed. He said, are you sure? Are you sure you're a left-handed quarterback? And he kind of patted him on the back, rubbed his shoulders a little bit. He said, I think he knew I was a new quarterback getting my first plays. He wanted me to feel comfortable.
And with the sound of the gun, the first quarter comes to a close. Raiders lead it 14-0. Teddy Wisniewski from Lebanon Township, New Jersey, and he is here at the game, also at Raiders practice yesterday, courtesy of the Starlight Foundation and Make-A-Wish. He has lymphoma and leukemia, but is doing excellent in his recovery, and he wanted to come out on the train. They rode the train across country, and he worked out with the ball club.
He's a huge Raider fan, and yesterday they got him out of practice. They let him throw a toss, let him run a play, and they asked him how he was doing after. He said, I was a little jittery out there. But what a beautiful scene, and A lovely response from the Raider players, Charlie.
Brooks fumble. And the Raiders have it. Mike Harden, number 45, comes up with a fumble.
If you had asked Sam White to make a list of things he would not want to happen today, we have seen a great many of them happen already. His quarterback has gone in for x-rays on his shoulder. They've had a long bomb to start the ball game defensively, and now his most dependable ball carrier fumbles the ball.
We'll be back in a moment.
Davis 70, backside, swats the ball away. It heads downfield, and the Raiders alertly capitalize. They've got a football and another opportunity to expand on their lead.
Mike Harden with the recovery. 8 takeaways last week, 4 interceptions, 4 fumble recoveries. And the Raiders leading 14-0. And they have the ball at their own 39-yard line. Schrader far side, Fernandez. Now let's check the 10-minute ticker. 14-13, Minnesota in overtime. That's a safety that they win Kansas City by 10 over Seattle. Those all the early games. Bueller. He's been watching Bo Jackson. He's carrying defensive players also. Has the first down.
A long run like the one you just saw Bo make moments ago will light a fire under the whole offense. Mueller playing with good style here as he breaks inside. Here's some of that power, Charlie. You're right. 2 tacklers get a hold of him. 2 more waiting. He drives, gets another couple of yards. That's 58. Joe Kelly finally roping him out the sideline. 1st and 10. Good gain down on the 44-yard line.
Steve Smith. He'll pick up a couple to the 42. Joe Kelly and Carl Zander with the tackle.
This is a proud defense, Charlie, and they're not going to let it go right now. They're saying we've got to make the big plays. 71. Mike Hammerstein slides in there. 1, 2, 3, 4 Bengal jerseys stacked up in there, and Hammerstein, after getting a piece of that tackle, is down on the ground.
So we'll have an injury timeout, and we'll be back in just a moment. Raiders lead it 14-0. As we look from the Hollywood Hills across town to the Coliseum, it is 2nd down and 8. Raiders with the ball. Wilhelm in motion, and Schrader goes deep. And this one is incomplete. Fernandez, the intended receiver, almost picked off by Eric Thomas, and Fernandez had to do a little defensive back work.
Eric Thomas, that's a familiar position for him. Against Tampa Bay last week, several passes underthrown. They happened to be caught over his head, even though he had brilliant coverage, as he does here. Thomas emerging as one of the finest cornerbacks in the NFL. You can't get better position than that. Fernandez trying to use his strength to go up and muscle that ball away, actually trying to keep the interception from happening at that point. And the one knock from Sam White, he said Thomas has dropped some sure interceptions this year. He said that's the only complaint I can make.
Schrader from the shotgun, pump fake, and now he sees an opening and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about all. And it will be 4th down. The kicking team will come in. We have a report that Mike Hammerstein has a burner, and he is out of the ball game.
And the second report came from the locker room that it's the right shoulder. The right shoulder of Boomer Esiason, not the left shoulder, not the throwing shoulder. So that's good news. The bad news, of course, is that he's still in that locker room. We'll keep you updated.
Jeff Gossett will be kicking. Mike Martin is the return man.
That may be a great kick if it bounced back. Oh, Yes, I think they're going to get it.
The ball stays in the field of play.
But did the defender who got his hands on it have his feet in the end zone, Charlie? He's not allowed to touch any part of the end zone when he's touching that ball.
And I believe it was Trey Junkin that threw it back as he was going past. No, they're going to rule touchback.
The defender who had his hands on the ball also had his feet in the end zone.
Touchback. Number 88 touched the ball in the end zone. Touchback.
Now they're saying 88. That's Ethan Horton. So it was the feet into the end zone.
When he recovered it and the feet become an extension of the football, touchback, and kept the ball in play.
He does it right. Bounces it back. But watch Ethan Horton as he gets his hands on the football and stop it right there. Stop it right there. The knees and the feet are in the end zone while he has his hands on the football. Touchback. Good call, officials.
The ball comes out to the 20. And Jennings carries.
Scott Davis, number 70, slashing in there from the inside. Davis, another one of those Raider players injured early in the year, had ankle problems, leg problems. He is back in there. Big, tall, strong power rusher. Bull. The Raiders like those tall, fast defensive linemen. They've got a bunch of them.
And meanwhile, you'll notice, of course, that with Eric Wilhelm, the rookie quarterback from Oregon State, replacing Boomer Esiason, is that the Bengals going now to the normal huddle and the normal set. And his pass is complete. And this is Rodney Holman, the tight end. Terry McDaniel with the tackle. Let's check the other games that are going along with ours. Denver with the lead. San Diego with an upset working on Philadelphia, and the Giants out in front of Phoenix. Here, the Raiders 14 and Cincinnati nothing, with 10 minutes and 49 seconds time remaining first half.
Charlie, just an indication of how Eric Wilhelm did in his first ball game. He has a quarterback rating of 158.3 coming into the ball game. Now that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
That's 5 of 6, including a touchdown and no interceptions. He looks pretty good. He goes to Brooks and has the first down at the 34-yard line. Zepp Lee is the man who makes the tackle.
Of course, with Wilhelm in there, an all left-handed battery. Oh, and Brooks getting up slowly. Boy, this is getting to be a nightmare for Sam Wyche. Wilhelm with time to throw. Good protection from his offensive line and an excellent pass. Brooks looked like he was twisted when he took that hit from Zepp Lee, number 40. Angry at himself for not getting there sooner, but looked like he twisted his back.
First down at the 34. Flag is down. I believe it was Golick was in the neutral zone. Stanford Jennings, the ball carrier. Now, he is the only ball carrier that they have left. Second quarterback syndrome.
We talked about it in other games. Let's see if this Raider defense can keep that energy and enthusiasm and intensity up.
And let's see what the young quarterback can do for the Bengals. Brown goes in motion. Throws on the run, and is intercepted.
They're giving him they say he got both feet in, Charlie. Terry McDaniel, number 36, who has come on so strong, gets a big hug from 79 Bob Golick. Read that play beautifully. Rookie quarterbacks very often don't disguise very well, Charlie. They'll track with a single receiver all the way, looking from behind. He's got one receiver all the way. He makes the dreaded mistake there. And there were 2 feet in.
There were two very quickly.
You could see it on that replay. 2 feet in for McDaniel. And the Raiders explode defensively. They've done it offensively. Now they're doing it defensively.
At the 43-yard line of Cincinnati, and they're not wasting any time. They come right out, and Bo Jackson is back in the lineup. He's been out the last couple of series, a little breather. And he'll have 3 to the 40. It'll be second down and 7. Jackson with the 2 touchdowns, the first from 7 yards out, and the second, a Raider record, 92 yards. Jackson said, I can't make this ship sail all by myself. You want to bet? I try to contribute as much as I can. Boy, he does contribute. I'm not sure I agree with that.
What he does, Charlie, is makes every one of those 10 other offensive players a little better on the field because the eyes have to be on number 34.
If he can't make it, at least he's the captain of the ship, I'd say that. 2nd and 7. Jackson.
I talked to Carl Zander yesterday afternoon, the linebacker who was there, who got a part of that tackle. He said very simply, in order to contain Bo Jackson, you got to have more than one body on him. You can't just make an arm tackle. You can't get one guy over there. You've got to have a bunch of white shirts on him. Otherwise, we're not going to get him. You see him exhorting the troops there a little bit. One of the emotional leaders of this defense, and they are an undersized front 7. They are not big up front. And this is a much improved Raider offensive line, and they can use that muscle on them and Bo's speed and fine action together.
3rd down, Vance Mueller comes in, an excellent receiver out of the backfield, but he stays in the block. Schrader throws it, and he completes it. Mike Dial, the tight end. Eric Thomas was there for the defense. And we have the 1st down.
Mike Dial, a very productive receiver so far today in this offense. A rookie who's getting a lot of playing time. Set up a touchdown earlier in the ball game. Gets a good pass there. Pretty stiff pop from the inside by the defense, but he hung on to that football.
Schrader's numbers, he is 4 of 8 for 98 yards, but remember 63 of those 98 yards came on that opening strike to Willie Dell. And this is Steve Smith.
I talked to Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals, and very simply asked him, how much can you blitz against this team? How much do you have to worry about Bo? He said, hey, it's a problem because you know us. We like to blitz, and he's been blitzing ever since he was playing for the Detroit Lions. And this is a fine blitzing team. But when you have someone that can explode the way Bo Jackson can, that means that all of your defensive backs are playing man-to-man. And their backs very often are to the line of scrimmage. They're running with those receivers. If Bo gets into the secondary, he may be gone. Dick Seltzer signaling in the defenses. No, that's not LeBeau. That's Seltzer. LeBeau's upstairs, but
we have an official's timeout on the field. Now there's the clock came up when you looked at the big clock at the end of.
I bet he is waiting for that news out of the locker room. They want to know how badly Boomer is hurt. He's not come back onto the field.
2nd and 8. Schrader hits Mueller. Touchdown.
Los Angeles Coliseum crowd that booed Schrader when he came in last week for an injured Steve Beuerlein are doing nothing but cheering him today as he gets his 2nd touchdown pass of the afternoon. Schrader knows.
From 25 yards out, the drive covered 43 yards. It was set up by Terry McDaniel's interception. And they're going to review this reception of Mueller to make sure that the ball broke the plane. So we'll take a look at it.
The ball looked like it may have come loose after he crossed the goal line.
That's
Let's
what
see.
they look at. Well, he stepped out of bounds. Now,
it's the ball.
It's the ball, and not when he steps out of bounds, but the ball has to have broken the plane
before
of the goal line before he steps out of bounds. Obviously, you can't tell that much.
All right, Charlie, I think I said that was a 2nd touchdown pass. They're saying indeed it was a touchdown. The 1st touchdown of the day was set up by the long pass to Galt. However, they punched it in with a fine run by Bo Jackson.
It is ruled a touchdown, and here's Jeff Jager to attempt the extra point. And he's got it. And the Raiders lead it 21-0. Go a smile creeped across the face of Al Davis right in the middle, and just to his left on your right, that is Hall of Famer Jim Otto. Double zero is there with his former mentor. And Jeff Jager will be kicking off. Stanford Jennings, number 36 on the near side, and Kendall Smith, number 83 on the far side, are the return men. And there's Vance Mueller.
One of Al Davis's projects. Basically a track athlete at Occidental, and he has become an excellent football player.
And Jennings will field it in the end zone and will bring it out to the 20-yard line following the touchback.
The man to watch here is Reggie Williams. Is going to try and cut Mueller here. And here is Fulcher. He's just late getting over to protect deep on this play. But watch Reggie bouncing off a man there, trying to cut Mueller at the line to knock him down. And Fulcher held by Schrader momentarily, late getting across to help on Vance Mueller, and Mueller into the end zone.
And the ruling, of course, that the football had already broken the plane of the goal line before Mueller stepped out of bounds. Therefore, it's a touchdown. Cincinnati down 21-0. A first down at the 20-yard line. And here is Jennings for a couple of yards. Bob Golick is there to meet him. Scott Davis was also there. Mike Wise is there. The report on Boomer Esiason, a bruised lung.
Bruised lung.
Bruised lung will not return.
Will not return to the game. Well, Charlie, that he is going to stay here, so apparently it's precautionary. That's good news and bad news. The good news is that probably means that he is going to be available next week. The bad news, he's not available here today.
Wilhelm's pass is incomplete.
Charlie,
Eddie Brown may have been the intended receiver, or Rodney Holman, because there was a mix-up. He read on a side adjustment. He read a different defense than the receivers read.
You're going to get that with a young quarterback. Of course, Esiason, with his experience, may have been able to read that properly. You see the signals, the hand signals. That's very often those signals are for substitution. That's what they want on the field. They know who's going to come off, who's going to go on. They can also signal series of plays in with those brief hand signals.
Shotgun. Here are the two tight ends. They are back as protection for the quarterback, and both move to the near side. This is a left-handed quarterback.
Wow. Ooh,
incomplete.
So near a great catch.
Mike Martin almost had it.
The third wide receiver. Martin, a very quick athlete. Watch, see the two tight ends. There they are, Charlie. They're worried on that side about Townsend and about the blind side of their quarterback. Watch how close this is to being a catch. Bounces out as he hits the ground. Very close to being a great catch by Mike Martin.
Line of Washington with excellent coverage. Lee Johnson will be kicking. Stephon Adams is the return man. King is receiving the accolades, and that is Dan Land with the football.
King said yesterday, I have something to prove. They cut me loose in free agency plan B. He's just struck a blow right there, going right to the heart as he blocks that kick off the foot. Perfect position. Lee Johnson, who has been in a slump, slow getting that ball off, and Emmanuel King knocked it down.
At the Bengal 12-yard line. Here's Bo Jackson. 2 to 3.
You could hear helmets cracking all the way up here, Charlie.
6 carries, 123 yards for Bo Jackson. You've heard of a ball player being a load. He's a load and a load and a load and a brick.
Well, Charlie spent a little time out in the Wyoming wilderness and the cowboy towns out there, and they say double tough.
Double tough.
Double tough. On the scoreboard, but they have made a lot of mistakes. Kyle has had his brilliant moments today, a couple of fine catches. Not such a brilliant moment.
The third holding penalty, 6 penalties for 45 yards. We'll take a look at dial number 84.
He'll come in on the left side of your screen. Right there, you see him trying to lock up and hold someone down. That's 58 Joe Kelly. They're trying to hold down there, holding him from the backside. Not too smart.
Now the umpires,
the lead they have with the kind of job Bo is doing, can pound on them. They have all the options in their pocket.
Second down back at the 13-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 12. Schrader. And he misses Bo Jackson.
Bo is not necessarily a great receiver. Has 1 catch on the year.
That's the good news. The bad news is for -3.
Ball is tipped by Scal. We can't blame this one on Bo. We just talked about Scal. I'm not sure he tipped that. I think that was just a bad pass. But in talking to Bo about his pass catching, I was telling him that James Brooks, another Auburn back, had only caught 1 pass in college. And Bo said, I think I only got 1. It's a 36-yard touchdown. You remember those, don't you, Charlie?
You remember.
That's interesting. 2 great backs, both great running backs, that Brooks has become a great receiver now as a pro.
We got whistles and flags, and Schrader bumped down at the 1-yard line by David Fulcher.
Oh, and Fulcher won't like. Yeah, there you go. You can't do that, Jay. That'll make you mad. That's taunting. Schrader not allowed to throw that football at Fulcher.
Schrader also has to stop when he hears the whistle too, because that always causes.
Well, he got himself in trouble going downfield. The whistle, and good idea to stop right now, Jay. Don't get down there where those guys are going to bounce on you.
Particularly when you get down and they're bigger. Because Fulcher's 6'3", 230 as a strong safety, and may be a little heavier than that.
Well, he said he's 235 right now.
235.
Last year got up to 245, but they wouldn't put him on the scale because he was bigger than Scal. And they were a little embarrassed by that. So, but he says he's 235. I talked to him this morning.
Have a false start against the offensive team. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the offensive team. They'll accept the offensive penalty.
False start, and that blows the play dead. Technically, there is no play at that point. All of this run downfield was for naught. But Fulcher was just saying, come on, you got to stop. And that's a careless thing. That's just a careless thing. But that's going to cost them big yardage. That's a personal foul. 15-yard penalty.
And the penalties, the numbers speak for themselves. It's now back to the 28-yard line.
This is old Raider football. Big points, big penalties. And they can overcome them. They've done it. They've done it today. That's the way the old Raiders played.
3rd down and 27. Remember, it was 1st down at the 12-yard line.
Stand in there. Oh, there he goes.
And it's incomplete. Mueller, the intended receiver, in reality, was simply throwing the ball away.
Weich thinking that Jason Buck had the quarterback on this play. He's got him, but he doesn't. Schrader rolling out of there. That was number 99, Jason Buck, getting the pressure. These players hard on each other, Charlie. They called Jason Buck Nightmare. The line that ran in USA Today said Jason Buck nightmare to quarterbacks. Well, that was last year, the beginning of the season. They still write in his locker, nightmare, nightmare. They stay on each other pretty good.
Jager, 46-yard field goal. Oh, bad. And now a fight breaks out. Somebody may have gotten hung up with a fist in the face mask, is what it looks like.
You're not allowed to grab that face mask, Charlie. That should be an automatic flag thrown there.
I think it was Wilkerson. He got his fist into somebody's face mask.
Bruce Wilkerson, number 68, in on that field goal team.
We'll take a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. Raiders lead it 21-0.
Joe Kelly, number 58, the man in that last skirmish. They could have, he's behind Crumry there. They could have known this was going to be a bad week. The team worked out yesterday at his old high school, Jefferson High School, Charlie, as Brooks has run out of bounds. But Kelly was on the first bus, and the first bus got lost. And Kelly said, "Where are we going?" They said, "Jefferson High School." He said, "That's my high school." He said, "I'll show you. You're going the wrong way, man." So he got him over there. But they could have known that this weekend was off to a bad start when the bus driver got lost yesterday. He's still hiding back there. Well, it's not a bad idea when you've been in a little wrestling match. Get over there, kind of get amongst your friends, and get off the side.
Eric Wilhelm has completed 3 of 6 for 23 yards. His last 3 passes, 2 incompletions, and an interception. Second and 8, little swing right side. Flag is down. Brooks the ball carrier. Good defensive play by Lyndon King.
Illegal use of the hands, number 36 defense.
Called on Terry McDaniel.
This is not an offensive team. The Bengals I'm talking about now.
Defense, first down.
Who are structured to come from behind efficiently, and particularly so with Boomer Esiason out of the lineup. They do a better job when they're operating within the framework of their offense, running the ball well when the game is close. Now with a rookie quarterback in there, this is really a tough obstacle to overcome.
Second down and 10. Excuse me, first down and 10. The first down following the penalty. Wilhelm rolling left.
Screen, good play, throwback.
Rodney Holman, the tight end, and he has the first down.
You see a big smile from Rodney right in front of the Raider bench. He said, "Hey, take that one." Watch the throwback here. All the action to the left. Wilhelm throwing it back over the top, and Rodney Holman, who for a stretch back around 85, 86, 87, for my money was the best tight end in football, and he's not too far below that now, but he'll catch the football, he'll block for you. Just an all-around football player, and was in the Pro Bowl last year. Show you what the other football players think of him.
First down, Cincinnati.
Good move.
Incomplete.
Wilhelm kicking himself. Eddie Brown not only open but with an opportunity to match up speed in the secondary with the Raiders and possibly get a touchdown. That ball thrown too far ahead of him.
Terry McDaniel with the coverage. And here's a little jump fake to the outside, and he has the 2 steps. And has great quickness.
Just beyond the fingertips. Eddie Brown, who held out, missed the opening game in Chicago. Been a little slow rounding into shape. Had a big week last week with 2 touchdowns.
Wilhelm's pass is high. Flag is down. Holman has it. McDaniel with the tackle.
I think we got a penalty against Lyndon King on the outside. Lyndon King had gone up and just knocked the socks off Jim Riggs. No, well, it's offside. He didn't get penalized for it. Riggs was a little upset. Riggs came looking for him down the sideline. Unusual. Lyndon King starting, Emmanuel King backing him up. Pair of Kings. You can bet on that, Charlie.
That's openers.
Perhaps.
I always hate to say that and call the wrong one. Second and 15. Wilhelm has pressure, slips one, and that's it.
Howie Long, good old number 75. He's not going to give you all day to throw that football. We've seen him at left end. We've seen him inside at left tackle. Started at right end on this play. And Wilhelm getting pressure from the inside. He'll come from the right-hand side of your screen. There's the pressure inside. Oh, that's Howie inside. All right, I'll take it back. Scott Davis perhaps on the outside. No, not him either. Mike Morantz. We'll get it right here. But there's Howie. Came from the right tackle position. Second sack of the quarterback by the Raiders. We mentioned, Charlie, that they had 7 last week. Only 20 on the year. Well, they're getting hot as a defensive line.
We now have the 2-minute warning, and the Raiders lead it 21-0.
On a pair of cleats or maybe a favorite football hat. But look what I have to put up with here in the booth. Charlie does the whole broadcast with these shoulder pads. No, Charlie, we put these on for a special reason today. The equipment of the game has not improved a great deal in the time that I've been in football. But one thing that has improved, shoulder pads. They take so much more of the blow, so much stronger. In fact, we're going to prove that. Are you ready, Charlie?
Yeah, don't hit the throat.
Don't hit the throat? Okay. Charlie didn't even feel that, folks. One more time, Charlie.
Yeah. Now they're even good.
Did that hurt, Charlie?
Yeah. Now, do I get to do the rest of the first half with these on?
You can do the whole game, Charlie.
Wait, it absorbs all of the shock, doesn't it? It's amazing.
It certainly does. And that's good news for the players.
And good news for me, too.
Good news. And good news for Charlie.
Better for me than, yes. Wilhelm's pass is almost intercepted.
Well, the Cincinnati Bengals wish they had some good news. The news so far for them has been one piece of bad news after another.
That was Mike Harden who also picked it off, who almost picked it off. And so Lee Johnson will be kicking to Stephon Adams.
His last kick was blocked, as you'll remember. There are 10 men up. Let's see if they're coming after this one.
No, he drops it, but there is no pressure, so he picks it up and gets it off. Adams at the 20.
You hear the call, you've got time, you've got time. That's someone calling out to Stephon Adams, telling him not to call a fair catch.
And we have a flag down. 45 yards on the kick, 1 yard on the return. Stanford Jennings was down in the coverage.
Charlie, after having a kick blocked, you got to believe that Johnson was extremely nervous. Had they come on that one, they'd have had another block.
Yes.
An eligible man downfield on the kicking team.
By the way, in case anybody at home was wondering, you weren't holding back with that baseball bat, were you?
No, I was delivering some blows. I delivered a few blows on that. Let's go back and watch Lee Johnson.
An eligible man downfield.
That is a good snap, slightly offline, but Johnson just nervous, and as we said, has been in a slump. I'll tell you, if I'm Lee Johnson right now, I say, why don't you guys refuse this penalty? I don't want to kick another one. You see him dusting his hands off. I talked to him in the locker room just a few moments before he went on the field. He said, I need a good day. Well, unfortunately, like the rest of the Bengals so far in this first half, it has not been a good day for Lee Johnson.
You want to know something else about the shoulder pads? They smell just like they did when I was in high school. They have that same aroma. Woo! Little gamey.
You can't take them home. You can't take them home.
Oh, really?
Are they going to come this time?
I would think so.
10 up again. No.
No, they got a return on
the
again.
Return is on. A better kick, but a line drive kick. Oh, and it's over the head of Stephon Adams.
And he had almost 15 yards, but between him and the coverage man.
You get that much room, very often it's a return. We'll be back. On Tampa Bay last week, the score here would surprise them as the Raiders have come out, and as we mentioned at the top of the show, Charlie, they're coming off their best game of the year too, but they have continued on, and Cincinnati, with a whole rash of injuries, has had real problems here today, and the injuries continue. That's Anthony Munoz, a very dependable boy. He's got a neck problem, and that will really give you fits. And team doctors working on him right there, Charlie. They've had their hands full today.
Report on Eric Ball as he has a bruised hip. Craig Taylor inactive for the game because of stomach flu. Boomer Esiason is out with a bruised lung, is here, not going to the hospital, but will not be back in the ball game as Bo Jackson, who has scored a pair of touchdowns, carries for about 3 yards. Next Sunday, be sure to join NBC for more exciting football action beginning at 12:30 Eastern with NFL Live. Many of you to see the Cleveland Browns wage war with the
Joy talking to Bo. Bo is a little bit bashful with the press, and I think his reluctance in part because he would rather let his play on the field speak for him. But we had a good talk about a couple things, and I'll share a little bit with you after this play. He's averaged 18 yards a carry today. 18 yards a carry. That's worth repeating. Charlie, I asked Bo when I was talking to him because I was interested. I know he loves to hunt. I said, Bo, did you, after the season was over, did you go hunting? He said, no.
The man's amazing. Simply amazing. 3rd down and 5. Schrader has pressure and he is sacked. He'll go down at the 10-yard line. That will be 4th down.
Timeout will be called by the Bengals. 51. That's Leon White coming from the far side. Sam White says he's the most improved player on this Bengal defense.
Denver at halftime leading Pittsburgh in the 2nd quarter. 1 in Cincinnati, nothing. A Bo Jackson 7-yard touchdown romp. The opening play for the Raiders, 62 yards from Schrader to Willie Gault, and that set up the touchdown. Mike Martin is the return man. Jeff Gossett the punter.
Jeff Gossett the punter.
Cincinnati could have good field position.
A poor kick by Gossett, but it's fair caught
at the 49. Raider football. Wilhelm goes deep and he misses. Tim McGee, the intended receiver, it is 2nd down. Zeff Lee had the coverage.
Charlie.
Wilhelm has completed 4 of 10 for 35 yards and only 1 in his last 7. And this one is incomplete. Next Saturday, 3rd down and 10. Stanford Jennings. And Jennings goes to the 32-yard line. And here's the quick set.
Come back with a big play. They'll throw it right at him.
They're going to throw it away.
They're killing the clock.
Part of the difference
with Wilhelm on the field.
2nd and 10 from the 33. Wilhelm rolls, throws, incomplete. Mike Martin, the intended receiver. McDaniel picked up the coverage. 3-10. Big sports fan, too. Pass is complete to the 15-yard line. 1st down. And the clock is moving. Washington with the tackle. That was Tim McGee on the receiving end. Can they get the team in time?
They'll try and get the field goal. They're out of timeouts.
From the 24, a 34-yard field goal attempt. Will it stay? Hits upright.
No.
They say no.
Jim Breach, a perfect 8 for 8 coming into that kick. Catches the upright. It looked like it was going to kick through, but it kicked back outside of the right-hand goalpost and barely misses. They did everything right. Watch the kick now. Will hit the left-hand goalpost, ricochet right, bang, and unfortunately stays at the front of the goalpost.
And the kicker, they made the shuffle, and Schrader has he's looked pretty good.
Schrader started brilliantly and has made some good plays on the day. He has certainly answered the challenge.
Jeff Jager will be kicking off, and the Bengals will have first opportunity in the 2nd half. One foot in, 1 foot out, and that means that Ira Hillary has to return the football. And he brings it out to the 15-yard line. Let's look at the statistics, the numbers in the 1st half.
You didn't even have to guess what those numbers were going to look like. 160 yards rushing, almost all Bo Jackson. 123 passing, and a lot of that. 73 yards in that, 63 yards in that first big shot that opened this game so well for the Raiders. 2 turnovers by the Bengals have also been costly on the day.
Wilhelm, the quarterback for the Bengals.
And they come out throwing. The short pass is complete at the 24-yard line to Eddie Brown. Terry McDaniel with the tackle. Gain of 9. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
Control the football. That's what Sam White wants his offense to do right now.
Just kind of peck away.
Peck away. Don't be greedy. You're not going to get it in one long play. They'll control it down the field, try and run it, throw the short passes, good percentage passes.
Stanford Jennings. He bobbled the ball on the handoff, and Tom Benson was laying in wait.
Charlie, worth mentioning, Stanford Jennings in the game because Eric Ball has a bruised hip, and Craig Taylor, who we might have seen in the ball game, got sick just before the game. Both of those backs unavailable for duty. Jennings, who's a very dependable and reliable football player, can do it all for you, but he's not as explosive or as fast as an Eric Ball.
And James Brooks, when he came back out of the locker room at halftime, was walking back with the team doctor. We do not have a report on him. Here's Jennings, and he's going to pick up the first down before Zeph Lee nails him.
You might remember that Brooks, when he was tackled on an outside play, had his back twisted. So it's been just one of those nightmare days for these Cincinnati Bengals. The jungle has been unfriendly today. This has been a different kind of jungle for them. He has bruised ribs apparently from that tackle. He is on the sideline, and that is not good news. That means they're down to one healthy back. I'm sure if he needs to go back in, he'll go back in. But he is their most dangerous, most productive back. Boy, you're beginning to look things in a desperate way here.
First down with a shotgun and two tight ends back as bodyguards.
He's got it.
Eddie Brown. And the Bengals make their big play to establish themselves. 41 yards.
So much for my run the ball theory coming off the half. But what a great play by Wilhelm. Another lefty that can unload the football deep. Match stride for stride. That has to be a perfectly thrown pass. Lionel Washington right there with Eddie Brown, but he could not knock the ball away. Big play to open up this game in the second half for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Martin wide to the near side and McGee wide to the far side. Stanford Jennings. Jennings to the 25. That's 8 yards.
They've had their injury problems.
Ricky Hundley into that last tackle. He replaces Jerry Robinson, who has post-concussion syndrome, and Stanford Jennings slipped as he made his cut. He's going to lose a couple yards. Townsend was there. Jennings and the tight end Eric Caddis are in the backfield. Riggs, another tight end, goes in motion. Here's a blitz from the outside, and the pass is incomplete. Caddis, the intended receiver.
There's the heat we were talking about right there, and a holding call against Cincinnati as they tried desperately to protect their quarterback in there. Townsend coming, Scott Davis coming, Big Howie Long coming. Sam White just gone for it frequently last year and this year. In fact, he's a trendsetter in that regard. He said if we make half of them, we get more points than we would if we make all our field goals.
Fourth down.
No.
The pass to McGee is incomplete. The ball goes over. We've got a timeout. Raiders have the lead. Temperature in the upper 70s. Just a little bit of haze in Los Angeles as we pull back to the Coliseum, where the Raiders are leading the Bengals by a score of 21-0, and Los Angeles has the ball. First down at their own 28-yard line. The pitch is to Bo Jackson. Has a couple of yards. It'll be second down 8. There's a flag on the play.
Lots of holding calls against the Raiders. They've been able to overcome all of that during this day. That will give Art Shell something to complain about. He certainly can't complain about the score at this point.
Holding 63, offense, still first down.
Second call on John Giesick today.
And the fourth
holding call. Giesick in there, left guard. You'll see him right at the top. 63, working on Jason Buck, number 99. He just locked up inside. Buck trying to get off. Look how he's going to take Buck right to the ground. Takedown. Yeah, lots and lots of white shirts. The hustle has not gone out of the Cincinnati team. You can believe that.
First and 20. And here's Bo again. Smith with the block. has about 7 to the 25.
Carl Zander there to make the tackle. Dangerously close. Charlie, a chance for me to, I know you're going to be traveling this next weekend, to offer my congratulations as you're headed home to University of Arkansas down at Fayetteville. Homecoming.
Yes.
And they're going to be handing you something special, a Distinguished Alumni Award. Much deserved, and for all of the good work you do, thank you, sir. Enjoying my chance to stand alongside of you and watch games like this.
I appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to next weekend. Homecoming in Fayetteville, and I will have a great time.
That will be enjoyable, I'm sure. Look out, Jay.
Schrader drops it off to Mueller. Heads up play. Mueller to the 30, to the 40. A flag is down. 36 yards on the play.
Second really big play of the day. Mueller with a touchdown earlier in this ball game. You said at that time he's been inspired by Bo Jackson.
Yes.
Well, boy, he is really playing some excellent football. That penalty will bring it back, however, as they've marched the ball back to where to there.
And why he comes into the backfield on a shotgun. Bo Jackson back in. The ball's at the 30 at 2nd and 8.
Oh,
Incomplete. Fernandez, the intended receiver. Billups with the coverage.
Fernandez, such a good story on the season. Came out of the CFL, Charlie, and in the Canadian Football League, almost all man-to-man coverage. Big, tall, fast, made a real mark for himself, and then came to the Raiders, and they were so excited they said he's going to knock him dead. Well, he didn't. First couple of years were really tough for Mervyn Fernandez, but he gradually came back, learned how to read the defenses, learned how to run the precision routes, because it's not all man-to-man here, and he is having a great season.
7 touchdowns this year. 3 wide receivers, 3rd down and 8. Mike Alexander, the motion man.
Planned rollout.
And he's throwing it away.
Throwing it over Fernandez's head.
And here is the kick. Mike Martin on the return, and he'll have about 5 yards. 39 yards of the kick, a 5-yard return, and the Raiders lead by 3 touchdowns. Went away. We were talking about Mervyn Fernandez.
There you see the numbers. In '87, he did have a shoulder injury, limited his time, but look at the rise in yardage, receptions, and of course here we are in the 9th game, and that big 7 over there is a happy number for these Raiders.
Cincinnati shut out thus far. A first down at their own 36-yard line, and Stanford Jennings gets the call, and he'll go to the 3rd. Everybody, you know, using words, picking up symbols, ideas that they have, and new plays. It's an involvement of the entire team.
Good
pass is complete to McGee. First down near the 50-yard line.
Charlie, fun fits last week. 56 points, a record 8 touchdowns. This has not been a fun game for Sam Wyche or his Bengals. And right now, their mission is to get that 0 off the board. They got to get that first TD, and they have. You look at Sam, he has not lost an ounce of his competitiveness, and that's the thing he demands of his team, that they be competitive and concentrating.
Double tight end on the set. What I was talking, Rodney Holman, the tight end, came up with a play created, so they named it after him. Fox 3 Rodney. And it's not a pass play. It's a running play.
Doesn't even go to Rodney, as a matter of fact.
Good protection. Now you're out of time, and now you go down. And Johnson gets it.
Charlie, that's where speed really helps on the Raider side of the line of scrimmage. Greg Townsend, earlier in the year, played at about 200. In fact, prior to the season, up to 274 pounds. About 265 at the beginning of the season. Now is down to 256. And much of
the 3 sacks for the Raiders.
You just saw him flip from the left side to the right side. And here, oops, they got him that time.
Throws back far side. All alone is Rodney Holman. Los Angeles territory to the Raiders 48. Composure of the young rookie, Eric Wilhelm from Oregon State.
He won't have a 158 rating after this game, however.
Looking right into the sun, and the pass is complete at the 44-yard line. It'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down as to Ira Hillary, and Lionel Washington makes the tackle.
Got to ask the question. So trying to look good, Charlie.
4:39 and counting, time remaining, third quarter. Now the crowd's into it. Wilhelm wants a timeout.
Drop.
Crowd noise in the Coliseum. It is close to the first down. It was 4th down and 3. Stanford Jennings. It's right at the marker.
Sam is confident. He thinks they've got it, although I think they're maybe going to have to measure it.
They'll bring the chains out.
Very, very close. Now, the defensive coordinator.
First down, Cincinnati at the Los Angeles 41. Incomplete. Tim McGee, the intended receiver. And for an update, let's go to Bob Costa. Thanks, Bob. And of course, the Raiders tied with Seattle. Seattle lost today, so Seattle now is 4-5. Denver 6-2 and leading. Raiders are 4-4, 2 games behind the Broncos. And Boomer Esiason is coming back onto the field, but he's in civilian clothes.
At least he's back out. Now that'll be a lift to his teammates and a lift to those Cincinnati fans at home who were so concerned about their leader. And he is a tremendous leader. You could feel the drop-off in this offense, even though the rookie has done a good job. I have to agree with you. Wilhelm has done well, but he is not Boomer Esiason.
And meanwhile, a delay of game, violation of the 30-second clock, and it'll be 2nd and 15. The ball moves back to the 46. Wilhelm 10 of 22, 125 yards and an interception. McGee, the motion man. Here's pressure from the inside. And McGee, but no, does not get both feet in bounds. Washington with the coverage.
I think one of the things that is
3rd and 15. Double tight ends as bodyguards in the shotgun. And the pass is complete to Eddie Brown. Brown at the 40. And it's going to be 4th down and 10.
They're obviously in 4-down territory. Well, no, they're not. Are they bringing out a punter? I guess they are. Yes, they are.
Lee Johnson is going to come out. Denver leading. San Diego with an upset working for them. And the Giants leading.
Cincinnati loves trick plays, Charlie.
Time remaining, 3rd quarter.
I wouldn't trust him to punt on this one. Well, maybe they're going to. Yep. Okay.
Going for the corner, and he just misses it. The touchback.
Lucky to be able to walk around. I wasn't thinking of being a great back. I just wanted to play football.
Here is Bo Jackson to the 26. Is that true? Where did you get your coordination?
I got it when I was, well, finally when I was a sophomore in high school. Made my first team as a sophomore in high school. Cut off everything before that. Tim Crumry, middle of your screen, number 69. The most valuable player on this defense last year. And those of you, and there were a lot of you who watched the Super Bowl last year, saw that tragic break of his leg. Crumry missing that game, made a remarkable recovery, is back on the field, but he's not the same Tim Crumry. He's getting there. Not the same Tim Crumry.
Yeah, but that's a remarkable feat just to be back.
Just to be back.
Ooh, yeah.
Just to be back, Charlie.
And here's Bo Jackson. Next Sunday, join NBC Sports for more exciting.
That I don't get to play all the time now. He said, I'm out of there about half the time. I can't stand it to be on the sideline.
Can Cincinnati get back in the ball game? Listen to this. The Raiders have had only 2 first downs since the end of the first quarter. That'll be their 3rd, but there's a flag. And a reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting the Budweiser most valuable player for today's game.
Holding number 66, offense.
And we'll do it at the conclusion of it. 3rd and 14.
Serious business. 3rd and long.
Schrader goes long, has a man open. It's Willie go. He's shot out of a cannon. And he's got it. 84 yards. You saw congratulations from Tim Brown, from Marcus Allen, and now the extra point.
Jay Schroeder opened the game with a 63-yard bomb to Willie Gault. He comes right back in a critical third and long yardage situation, goes to the speed of Gault. Gault working on number 29, Ricky Dixon. A safety moved over in the nickel zone defense. Let's go look at it. We'll get a better look at it. Here's Willie Gault at the top of your screen right here, and Dixon here, and it's just speed. He just flies up, and look at him accelerate. Look at the separation right there. Dixon, who runs in a 4.4, is no match for the sprinter, Willie Gault. Trying everything he can do, gets a good block from Mervin Fernandez right there, and that block by number 86 opened it up from the end.
And what does the quarterback think? Oh, yeah.
He's had his hands in the air a lot today, hasn't he, Charlie?
He sure has. Willie Gault, 2 receptions, 147 yards, and a touchdown.
That's the reason that Al Davis went after Willie Gault. He said, we've got to have the speed to stretch the defense deep.
And Al Davis said, I never wanted a percentage quarterback. Sometimes I've had one. The numbers I was always interested in, low interceptions and touchdowns. Ira Hillary on the return to the 22.
Charlie, there got to be some mixed emotions on that Raiders sidelines. Had a great afternoon. What does that do now?
That's the kind of problems you like to have, though, if you're a head coach.
No, you don't like a quarterback controversy, though. No coach wants that.
Wilhelm to throw, looking into the sun. Has the first down. And he'll go down at the 36-yard line. He picks up 14. Now, of the finals, in front of the Eagles. Interesting. Giants by 10, and here it's the Raiders 28-0, trying to fashion a shutout over Cincinnati as we come to the end of the third quarter. Raiders lead it.
Bout yourself in a losing game in a day when everything goes wrong than you do on a day when everything goes right. And Stanford Jennings, woo, fine run. Fine run. Three-quarter statistics, and you've got to believe that they're going to be big on the side of the Raiders. That passing yardage inflated by Willie Gault's second big catch of the day. 394, pushing on 400 yards today. Wow.
And for Willie Gault, his third 100-yard game this year. We start the second half of the season. Stanford Jennings near the 50, and he picks up the first down. Jeff Lee with the tackle.
Well, the magic number for these Bengals is 1, and the 1 is right there. 36, Stanford Jennings. He's the lone healthy running back left for the Cincinnati Bengals. He's not used to carrying that much of the load in a game. He's used to going in and out a lot and is running well today. But this is probably the most carries he's had in the game in gosh knows how long.
James Brooke and Eric Bell out with injury. Play action fake. Good fake. And the pass is complete to Eddie Brown. Washington with the tackle. And Craig Taylor also not in the game because of a stomach flu that he had this morning.
It's a numbers game. How much do they respect Howie Long? Well, there are 2 guys right there, and the center. No, it's Reimers coming over to help. So they got Kazurski, number 64. They got the guard on him, Montoya, and then coming over from the other side, Reimers. So 3 of them.
What if you put somebody else in a number 75 and put him out there just to draw a crowd?
Put about 3 75s out there. Maybe that would work, Charlie.
2nd and 5. Incomplete. The receiver falling down.
Ira Hillary, and he's saying he was pushed, but the official having none of it. Lionel Washington, number 48, doing some good coverage work here. Watch the play as it develops. Quick work by the hands, little slap off, and no question about it. Tripped on the turf. This is fast turf, Charlie. This field is in good shape. Looks a little bit worn in the center, the home for the USC Trojans, and they've done a good job. It looks a little chewed up, but we have seen very few slips, very few people falling today, and it's been a fast track, as Willie Galt and Bo Jackson will attest.
With the pressure, and it's incomplete. Wilhelm had to get rid of it just a step before he wanted to, and Greg Townsend once again was breathing down his neck. Last time Cincinnati was shut out against Cleveland in '87.
Last play. Well, you see those hard plants. Now, those are the kinds of plants you can make on an artificial turf. Kind of hard to do that on natural turf, but they almost got away with it there.
4th and 5, first down. 34-yard line.
An obvious passing situation. Defense says no. They run the ball. They pick up the first down. Stanford Jennings getting a bit of a break. Who's going to carry the ball? Good job, number 65, Max Montoya. Veteran guard, the oldest of these offensive linemen. 32 years old. Still doing it. No, he's 33. I don't want to make him young. That's old, football-wise. But doing a great job.
I'm impressed with Cincinnati's offense. You know, Boomer is out. You've got 3 running backs down, and they hang in there. Tipped, and it's incomplete. Rodney Holman, the intended receiver. They're just trying to make something happen.
Well, with Brian Blados hurt, and you'll get it twisted, and you'll feel the scar tissue explode, and you think the knee is hurt again. That happened last week, and he was frightened, but he said he came through it. The knee is feeling much better now.
Play action to Jennings, and the pass goes deep to the end zone. Touchdown. Tim McGee. 34 yards. He got a step on Lionel Washington. And the crowd is booing the defense. Tough crowd in Los Angeles. Tough crowd.
I talked earlier about competitiveness. Sam Wyche would not let his team let up. And they are competitive by nature. Charlie, one interesting thing, and I don't know whether it's just the nature of the environment in Cincinnati or the environment that Paul Brown and Sam Wyche have put together for this team, but this is a team that is the most comfortable together of any team that I have been around.
Here's Breach with the extra point, and it's good. Shutout is averted. Bengals scoring drive, 78 yards in 9 plays. Time elapsed 3:38. Wilhelm to McGee, 34-yard touchdown pass. Willie Galt and Mike Harden are the return men. Now this is out of character. We expected to see Stephon Adams and Tim Ware as the return men.
Well, the ball is going to the speed, Charlie.
Willie Galt needs a block. 2 flags are down. Exciting return. Chris Barber made the tackle. We'll go back and check out the flags. Holding on the return team.
Let's go back to that touchdown. Classic of it, and that was a beautiful throw by the rookie. He's had 2 of those really nice over-the-shoulder long shots today.
The holding call on Mervin Fernandez. So the Raiders have a first down at their own 12.
11 and 19.
And here's Bo Jackson. Couple of yards to the 14. It'll be 2nd down and 8. And now the Raiders, you can tell from the shadows, they're looking right into the sun. Other games, look, Philadelphia now has caught San Diego. Giants still lead by 10, and Denver still up on Pittsburgh. Second and 8. And Bo gets the call again. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Jason Buck and Joe Kelly with the tackle.
As that sun drops down, it will become more and more difficult for quarterback to see his receivers, especially as they run up the left side of that field. You can see about half the field in shadow now, but it's low enough on the horizon to make it difficult for the team facing in this 4th quarter. And of course, that's the Raiders out of the shotgun.
With Mueller and Smith back with him as Bolt comes out with that set, and it is intercepted. Cincinnati has the ball at the 33-yard line. Fernandez, the intended receiver.
We have a flag down. Charlie, I wonder if we've got either a holding or a roughing call back there, and they look like they're carrying it back. Let's see. Let's let Pat Haggerty discuss it with his officials.
Billups had the interception.
Would appear that the Raiders are sending out their defense. It's a holding call.
On the offense, pass was intercepted, declined, 1st down.
Let's look at the interception. Billups getting a good read on Fernandez. Had the read early and actually caught the route ahead of time. And with deep help, he was able to guess a little bit on that route. They sandwiched Fernandez, and Billups comes up with a big play and field position. And there's a lot of time on that scoreboard. Boomer's saying, why can't I be in uniform for this one?
In case you joined us late, Boomer's out with a bruised lung. Cincinnati 1st down at the Raiders 32-yard line. Incomplete. Eddie Brown, the intended receiver. It'll be 2nd down. Terry McDaniel defending on the play.
One of the things the receivers hate is a ball that stretches them out like that. It just opens up those ribs and opens up that back.
That's how you get that bruised back.
Boy, it sure is. Terry McDaniel, number 36 right there. And Brown is hurting a bit. Boy, we've had a lot of Bengals taking shots today, and a number of them on the sideline have not been able to return to the ball game. I think we will see Eddie Brown back.
2nd and 10. Now in the backfield are 2 tight ends to Blum. And the pass is complete to Kendall Smith. To the 15-yard line, 1st down. There's a flag back at the 24. Kendall Smith, the rookie from Utah State, that football factory that you went to.
Well, I talked to him. He's a nice young man. He said, I'm just happy to be here. I hope I get a chance to play.
Defense declined, 1st down.
Penalty on the Raiders, 1st down at the 15.
Sam Weich likes him. He likes this young man. He has a feeling that Kendall Smith has the same kind of quickness as Mike Martin, and you see some of it there as he falls down, still gets up, gets into the pattern. The same kind of quickness as Mike Martin, but more speed. They think they have a real find in Kendall Smith.
They also want to work him into the kickoff return team. Here's Jennings back in. Stanford carry.
Good run.
To the 5.
10-yard gain on that play. The one thing you do not want to do, even though you've got a 21-point lead on that board, is let up defensively. Watch this play by Jennings. Good job. Montoya 78. Holman number 82. Both getting a good block. But that play made up in part by the fact that Jennings started hard to the right, cut it back against the grain, and then took advantage of 2 very fine blocks on the left-hand side.
2nd down, about a half yard at the 5. Here's Jennings. He's got the 1st down. It'll be 1st down and goal to go. Lyndon King with the tackle.
Let's get going, Sam says.
All the other signals,
Don't waste your time.
Means plays and formations and that one. Everybody means hurry up, let's get rolling. 8:45 and counting time remaining in the game.
Sugar huddle doesn't take them long to get to the line. No, they huddle about 4 yards away from that line.
Almost intercepted. A perfect defensive play by Terry McDaniel. Absolutely perfect.
Number 36 coming across with the motion. That's Kendall Smith again. Now they're trying to get a pick right there. They missed the pick. And Terry McDaniel had just read that play perfectly all the way across. He knew if he could get through there, he had a shot at that ball. He might have been able to go all the way to the other end zone, Charlie.
Second and goal to go. Play action fake. Has pressure, throws. It is intercepted in the end zone. No. Oh. Rookie mistake, throwing right to Lionel Washington, and he couldn't pull it in. Oh, what he wants to do is kick himself. And there's a flag.
The definition of on-the-job training. Eric Wilhelm is getting it today. Looking into the corner right there. A bad pass. Oh, you're so right, Charlie. Tim McGee had no chance at it. Lionel Washington had it all the way, but couldn't corral it.
Let me correct. There was no flag. Third down, goal to go.
Four down territory. They're not going to kick a field goal, I don't believe.
Jennings.
Touchdown? No.
Woo.
Big defensive hit.
He is spun by Tom Benson.
Benson, the leading tackler on this team, a free agent, Plan B free agent, picked up from the San Diego Chargers, has really had an impact. The impact on that play on Stanford Jennings. He spins him around. Watch Jennings, his feet spin out toward the goal line with the hit. Right there. Watch those feet just like a helicopter there. Boy, that's some good defense. Fourth down, a yard and a half away from the end zone. And the crowd into it here.
Jennings over the top. No sign
no.
from the officials. They say no. The Raiders hold.
I think we've got a shot right down the line, right down the goal line. We'll give you a chance to look at it in a moment. Sam White saying, okay. Here's the one to look at. Over the top. Does he get there? I don't think so, but boy, that's awfully close.
The ball is the key. It has to break the play.
Play two men with the same responsibility. Stanford Jennings running into here, going to jump. Troy Benson going to jump into here, and he's going to jump there. Meet at the top. Let's watch the action. Tom Benson, bam, right there, and it was his jump and the timing of that jump that stopped the touchdown. There he is, number 54. Big play.
Raiders just in the field of play. Smith out to about the 4. Now, to give you an idea of the job that the Cincinnati defense has done since the first quarter, they have allowed the Raiders only 1 first down in the last 37 minutes of play, and that, by the way, was on Willie Gault's long touchdown. And to show you how meaningless first down statistics are, Cincinnati has 16 of the last 17 first downs in the ball game. But the big stat is there, 28-7.
Well, they've been throttled again by their inability to take advantage of that yardage and punch it into the end zone.
Second and 7. Steve Smith. As Merle and I were talking earlier, if you want to be a running back, that's what it's going to look like to you. It's not just running down the halls in the 7th grade. There are big people there waiting to knock you down.
Charlie, you talked about yardage. Here's a stat that's interesting. Well, now that's not exactly what I expected. I think that the problem there is that's a Raider helmet. That's a Cincinnati stat that we have there. In 1987, in total yardage, Cincinnati was 5th in the league in yardage, 20th in points. The ranking is in yardage. 2nd in the next year and 1st in points. So in other words, they were getting the yardage in 87. We're getting the points. We'll put it back up.
We'll just change it. Change the color.
Put it back up in just a moment.
3rd down and 4. And Smith going to be close to the first down. He'll have it, because remember, the ball was just in the field of play, and he's to the 11. Good continuing effort by number 35, Steve Smith, out of Penn State.
This statistic looks a lot better with the Bengal helmet on it, Charlie, than it did with the Raider helmet on it. Here it is again. And here, the yardage, and let's look at it. 87, they were 5th in yardage. They were 20th in points scored. The next year, 2nd in yardage, 1st in points scored, and 6th and 7th this year. So the one thing they did in that great season last year was they were getting yardage, yes, but they were also getting the ball into the end zone. And yardage doesn't help you if you don't capitalize on those opportunities by punching it into the end zone.
Bo Jackson comes into the lineup. And there he goes. First down. 17 yards.
Bo is scary. Bo is scary.
He is. He is.
It's frightening to a defense to see someone with that kind of power, and we've seen both his power and his speed today.
And also, he's one of the great jokesters in the locker room. He's digging. He's always digging everybody. Teammates love him.
Well, they're digging him too.
Oh yeah. Ball again. There's a flag down.
As we're sorting that out, Charlie, we looked at the statistic for the Cincinnati offense, the difference in yardage and points scored. Defensively, it's yardage and points allowed, and they have done a turnaround as well. In 1987, they were 8th in yardage allowed. I mean, they were not giving up many yards, but look how many, they were 24th in points allowed. In 88, they brought it back to even, and look at this year. They're giving up yards. You don't mind giving up the yardage. You don't want to give up the points, and they've done a good job of that. A very good job.
Holding call on Mike Dial. That is the 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th holding call on the Raiders.
Well, I know coaches like to have something to complain about in the meetings. They've got some, at least they got some holding calls. There's not a lot of complaining from that man. He's proud of his team. He's proud of what they have done. A lot of smiles on the Raiders.
One of the things he brought back was sitting on your helmets at practice. It's like a ritual. You wanted to go get a helmet when we were there and go sit on it yourself.
That's exactly right.
Raiders pass is low, but Fernandez has it.
A good pregame special on our pregame show today on the Raiders, talking about the difference in attitude. And Charlie, it couldn't be better demonstrated than it has this year by the Los Angeles Raiders. You see them sitting on the helmets there. That's Eddie Anderson on the left. We talked about his hamstring problem. A competitor hates to be out of the game. That's Howie. Those helmets are hard, though. Usually you see the Raiders, they put a football on the helmet. They sit on the football. Football is on the helmet. But he has allowed them to go back to a comfortable kind of a schedule that's much more in keeping with what they want to do. And that's important.
2nd and 11. Vance Mueller to the 30-yard line. Of course, the clock continues to move. We're down to almost 3.5 minutes time remaining. Tonight's lineup on NBC starts with Ernest Goes to Camp, followed by the family comedy Sister Kate and My Two Dads, and the world premiere of Cross of Fire. They'll all be seen in their entirety following the game, except on the West Coast, where you'll see them at their regularly scheduled time. And now we're climbing down to 3 minutes left. Raiders out in front, 28-7. Cincinnati will drop out of the tie with Cleveland in the Central Division as the Browns won. And the Raiders keeping pace with the Denver Broncos. Raiders 2 games behind. And our trivia question of the day.
Things are winding down here. Which 4 current NFL coaches, head coaches, played for the teams they now coach? We'll let you think about that one for a second.
That's a good one.
It didn't. There used to be one. Just a short time ago, there was one.
Is this a trend we're seeing?
Well, I hope it's a good trend. It's one that Al Davis likes. here are the answers, because one of those is a Raider coach and one also happens to be a Bengal coach.
Art Shell, Sam White.
Shell, Weich, Ditka, and Dan Henning. And the thing that Al Davis said before this game started, there they are, the two head coaches. Weich, a quarterback, and Shell, a great tackle. Howie Long had a great line in practice yesterday. He said, you used to brag about your dad. My dad can beat up your dad. He said, well, my coach can beat up your coach. I don't think there are many. And
Sam was completely involved in the ball players in another way, in a creative, fun way, but they both bring the right thing, that right element, to their organization.
You know what the common bond is? The real common ground for those two men, to me, communication. They are both able to communicate so well with their players, and to me that is the first dividing line for coaches. The ones who are able to communicate and do communicate are able to sustain that relationship and to get their players to play for them.
Jeff Gossu will be kicking, and Kendall Smith is the return man. Slips 2 tackles, and then he goes out of bounds. 2:36 time remaining. 36 time remaining in the Coliseum. Tonight's lineup on NBC starts with Ernest Goes to Camp, followed by the family comedy Sister Kate and My Two Dads, and the world premiere of Cross of Fire. They'll be seen in their entirety following the game on the East Coast. Here on the West Coast, you'll see them at their regular scheduled time. Good lineup tonight. Pass is complete. First down for Cincinnati at the 48-yard line. Hurry up offense. Trying to get a couple of plays in before the 2-minute warning. But you can see the difference in having the rookie, Eric Wilhelm, there rather than Boomer, because it just takes a little bit more time to get it all organized. Stanford Jennings. And Jennings will go to the 48-yard line for Art Shell.
He's had a lot lately.
Yes, he has. And the most valuable player with an S. We had a tie, justifiably so. Willie Gault and Bo Jackson. First play of the game.
Willie Gault opened it up right. And if you want to talk about a confidence booster for Jay Schrader, this was it. Just a post pattern as he drives deep, way ahead of Billups on the outside. Beautiful play. We'll look at one of Bo's specialties momentarily, but what a difference speed makes, Charlie.
Willie Gault totaled 2 receptions, 147 yards, and a touchdown. Pass is incomplete, and now Bo Jackson.
Stretch it to the left. Exploding between two defenders.
And that's not hurried up.
No.
That's as fast as that man goes.
A helpless feeling to be chasing someone that runs like that.
Oh, yes. There he is.
Folks were watching that run on the replay here in the stadium, and they were getting excited again.
Bo's pointing it out, waving to himself. Yes.
That was me.
That was me.
That was me. He is a very gracious young man, by the way. Very gracious. Look out, Howie.
And now an opportunity to run down all of the scores. The winners highlighted in white. Cleveland wins, Houston wins, Atlanta wins. Miami, Jets by 1 and Green Bay by 1. Minnesota by 2. That was on a safety of a block puck. Kansas City by 10 over the Seahawks. Denver still big over Pittsburgh. Eagles and San Diego may be headed to overtime, and the Giants lead now by 7. That margin was 10. No, that's a final. That's a final. And Denver's a final. And here, Raiders 28, Cincinnati 7, 152. Dennis Mnuchin, Stan Oteco, Ron Lux, Chuck Panama, Andy Adapa, all working with us. Boomer with a bruised lung. 4th down and 1. First down for Cincinnati. Still going is Stanford Jennings. Chance for us to remind you that the executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The coordinating producer of NFL Football, Ted Nathanson. Today's telecast ably produced by Larry Cirillo. Creatively directed by Dick Klein. NFL Live produced by David Neal. Directed by Bucky Gunts. NFL Live news producer Ricky Diamond. Our tech directors Mike Stremiski and Richard Sansevier. Standing ovation. Applause all the way around.
And smiles all the way around this stadium.
Fumble on the snap.
Everybody went by Wilhelm.
Fumbled again.
Wilhelm fumbled that football.
It's still loose. And now Townsend had it and he loses it. And Harden tried to pick it up. And Benson got it.
A Keystone Cops routine, but almost a big play. Really strange. As Wilhelm fumbled the snap, the whole defensive line shot by him. Now watch him. The defense is going to disappear. And he's going to be left there by himself. He picks it up. He's gone for a moment. He gets it stripped away by Benson right there. And then the ball bounces loose. Now it's a Keystone Cops routine. They'll get that one for NFL Follies, Charlie. No, I got it. No, you don't. I got it.
And Tom Benson ends up with it.
Was it Benson or was it? All right. There's normal speed. Watch it as it happens.
There's Benson's first shot at it.
There, and it rolls over the top. It's either Benson or Harding, number 45. It might be Mike Harding that ended up with it on the bottom.
I don't know. Sam White is so creative. He may put that into their playbook. You got to watch him.
Well, the Raiders now will simply run it out.
Today's telecast produced by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Raiders and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, Cincinnati Bengals, and Los Angeles Raiders, all rights reserved. It was officially Tom Benson, just for the record book, who got the ball. We missed seeing Paul Brown. Did not make the trip. Usually he and Mary would come out on the trip to the West Coast. Love playing golf with Paul Brown. Well, remember he always sends, when he was coaching, coach, very innovative, he always sent plays in. He was the first coach to do that. When you play golf with him, he clubs you. Said, what are you going to hit her? I said an 8. No, hit a 7. You know? Oh, he's great fun to play with.
That's Steve Berline you saw briefly. I don't. He'd have a hard time clubbing me as badly as I hit the ball, Charlie. This game running out. We talked a lot about Cincinnati injuries. The Raiders themselves, minus Jerry Robinson today, minus Marcus Allen on the sideline. So they've got some strength coming back into the lineup in a few weeks as well. A lot of strength there. Art Shell.
His record is now 4-1 as a head coach.
That ain't bad.
Two of the nicest men in the business.
They really are.
The final once again, the Los Angeles Raiders 28, the Cincinnati Bengals 7. The healthy quarterback and Boomer Esiason with a bruised lung. We'll be back in a moment. Bo Jackson. He did not get it. There's a flag dropped at the 4. He has a pair of touchdowns already.
Yeah, 2 flags down, and I think it'll be a holding call against the Raiders. They've had too many of those today. They've been able to overcome them, and certainly haven't self-destruct like he's trying to run it off on the sideline. Bruce hit, they say.
2nd and 8, and here's Bruce. 39-yard line, has 4. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Charlie, James Brooks is a remarkable athlete. Absolutely unbelievable. Here's a guy who is only 180 pounds. You look at the backs around the league who are able to stand up to constant pounding. Most of them are over 195 pounds. Brooks is the only one that I can point to under